Ever feel like the more you learn about something, the less you actually know?
Mm-hmm.
That's me with faith. I
Yeah.
always thought it was like pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But this stack of research you sent has me thinking this touches everything,
Oh, yeah.
from history and psychology to science and philosophy.
It's a big one.
Ready to go deep.
Absolutely. And you're right. It's a far richer concept than I think many realize.
Right.
At its heart, faith is a universal human experience,
Mm-hmm.
a trust in something beyond the immediately tangible.
Okay.
It's this very trust that has underpinned entire civilizations
Mm-hmm.
and propelled advancements in countless fields.
Like we usually link faith with religion,
Right.
which makes sense.
Of course, yeah.
But you're saying it's also woven into the fabric of, well, pretty much everything humans do.
Precisely. Take a scientist working tirelessly to prove a theory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their dedication, it isn't just about the scientific method itself.
Right.
It's a form of faith. Faith in the pursuit of knowledge, in the idea that there are truths out there waiting to be uncovered.
That really flips the script. Instead of seeing faith as this like separate thing, it's
Right.
more like a driving force behind any big endeavor,
Mm-hmm.
which makes me wonder, how does that play out in different belief systems? Our sources touch on some major religions, right?
Yeah, they do, offering a glimpse into how diverse cultures have grappled with this concept of faith for centuries.
Mhm.
Christianity, for example,
Yeah.
centers on faith in Jesus as the path to salvation and personal transformation.
Mm-hmm.
Hebrews 11.1 beautifully encapsulates this, describing faith as the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
So it's about trusting in something beyond the physical world.
Yes.
But also, as you said, it's about that trust leading to real change. It's not passive.
Exactly. Now, Islam places equal emphasis on faith, known as Iman.
Okay.
This begins with belief in Allah and the Prophet Muhammad, but it manifests through actions, specifically the 5 pillars, declaring faith, prayer, charity, fasting during Ramadan, and pilgrimage to Mecca.
Wow.
It's about weaving faith into the very fabric of daily life.
Okay, so both Christianity and Islam have these like strong belief systems at their core,
Yes.
but they manifest in very different ways.
Yes.
What about traditions like Hinduism and Buddhism?
Sure.
I've always seen them as more focused on individual journeys and practice.
You're right. The emphasis there is less on adhering to a rigid belief system
Okay.
and more on cultivating faith through experience. In Hinduism, Shraddha, meaning devotion, is paramount. This translates to faith in the deities and a dedication to the pursuit of self-realization. Buddhism, on the other hand,
Okay.
encourages cultivating faith in Buddhist teachings as a pathway to enlightenment.
It's incredible how these major religions, while distinct in so many ways,
Yeah.
all tap into that fundamental human need to connect with something larger than ourselves.
Mm.
But this leads us to that age-old debate. Can faith and reason coexist? Our sources definitely don't shy away from this one.
Rightfully so. It's a question that has fascinated and often divided thinkers for millennia.
Yeah.
Take St. Augustine, who famously said, "Believe so that you may understand." He believed faith was a prerequisite for true understanding. Then there's Aquinas, who argued that reason can guide us towards an awareness of God. But faith is what unveils the deeper truths, the mysteries that logic alone can't penetrate.
So for those philosophers, faith and reason work together,
Mm-hmm.
almost like two sides of the same coin. But I imagine not everyone saw it that way.
Exactly. David Hume, a prominent skeptic,
Okay.
challenged this notion. He questioned faith's validity without concrete evidence. Essentially, how can we logically justify belief without tangible proof? It's a question that continues to fuel debates today.
That's such a valid point. It's like, where do you draw the line?
Right.
And what about Immanuel Kant? His work is in the stack too, right?
Yes, and he offers yet another perspective. Kant argued that while reason is our primary tool for gaining knowledge, faith steps in to fill the gaps, addressing questions that logic simply can't answer. For him, though, it wasn't about pitting one against the other, but rather recognizing their distinct roles in our understanding of the world.
So we've got some philosophers saying faith enhances reason, others saying it operates in a separate realm but is equally important.
Mm.
It's mind-blowing how this one concept can be interpreted in such diverse ways. But what about someone like Kierkegaard? He took a different stance altogether, didn't he?
He did. Kierkegaard championed what he called the leap of faith.
Okay.
He believed that true faith often defies logic.
Mm-hmm.
It's intensely personal, even paradoxical. And it's this leap, this embrace of the unknown that imbues life with meaning, even if it can't be neatly explained or rationalized.
I love that. A leap of faith. Okay, so you've gone deep on the history and the philosophy of faith.
Right.
But what about its practical impact on people's lives? Does this millennia-old concept still hold relevance in today's world?
This is where it gets particularly fascinating. We're moving beyond the theoretical and looking at the tangible effects of faith on individuals and society as a whole.
Speaking of which, our sources suggest a strong link between faith and mental well-being.
It's a growing field of study, actually,
Right.
and the findings are quite compelling.
Right.
Studies have shown that people with strong faith,
Yeah.
whether rooted in traditional religion or a more general sense of spirituality,
Right.
tend to report higher levels of well-being,
Okay.
along with lower rates of anxiety and depression.
That's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
What's the science behind that connection? Is it just about believing things will work out, or is there something deeper at play?
It's a complex interplay of factors,
Yeah.
but one key element is the sense of meaning and purpose that faith often provides,
Right.
especially during challenging times.
Mhm.
It's about having a framework for
Yeah.
understanding suffering, for believing in something larger than yourself, right?
Mhm.
A higher power, the inherent goodness of humanity, even the pursuit of knowledge itself.
That's like having an anchor in a storm.
Exactly.
It makes sense that could be a buffer against, like,
Yeah.
stress and despair.
Exactly. And it's not just about the individual.
Right.
Faith often fosters a sense of belonging and community.
Okay.
Think about the role of faith-based groups, congregations, meditation centers. These spaces offer social support,
Right.
which is absolutely critical for mental well-being.
It's true. That feeling of connection is so vital, like
Yeah.
knowing you're not alone and facing, like, life's ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
And this gets to how faith impacts not just individuals, but entire societies, right? Our sources touch on how integral faith has been to social movements and community development.
Absolutely. Shared beliefs and a shared sense of purpose have incredible power to bring people together.
Yeah.
Look back at history. Religious institutions have been at the forefront of social services, education, even healthcare. Think about the role of faith in movements for social justice. Martin Luther King Jr. drew immense strength from his faith during the fight for civil rights, demonstrating the ability of belief to fuel tangible action in the world.
That's such a powerful example of how faith can translate into real-world change.
Right.
It's like, it's not just about what you believe in the privacy of your own mind.
Right.
It's about how those beliefs inspire you to act, to build, to connect with others.
Precisely. Of course, the landscape of faith is constantly evolving.
Right.
While some argue that traditional religion is on the decline, particularly in certain parts of the world.
Yeah.
Others see it as simply, transforming, adapting to the realities of modern life.
That's a crucial distinction. So it's not necessarily that people are losing faith,
Right.
but rather the object of that faith might be shifting.
Exactly. Humanism, for instance, with its focus on reason, ethics, and human values, can be seen as a form of faith itself, faith in humanity's potential for progress and goodness. And then there's this persistent idea that science and faith are inherently at odds,
Right.
but that's a false dichotomy.
It's like that saying, science is about the how and faith is about the why.
Right.
They're exploring different aspects in the same reality.
I love that analogy. Think about groundbreaking scientists throughout history who held deep religious beliefs.
Right.
Isaac Newton, for example,
Yeah.
saw his scientific work as a way of uncovering God's design in the universe. And Albert Einstein, while not traditionally religious,
Right.
often spoke of a cosmic religious feeling that fueled his curiosity about the universe.
It's like their faith, far from hindering their scientific pursuits, actually fueled their sense of wonder.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if that same kind of curiosity drives people's exploration of different faiths and spiritual practices today, especially with technology opening up a whole new world of possibilities.
That's the million-dollar question, and what an exciting time to be exploring it. We're witnessing a digital revolution in how people connect with faith.
Right.
Online communities are flourishing.
Right. Offering support, discussion, and exploration of different beliefs in ways that were unimaginable just a few decades ago.
It's fascinating to think about how those digital spaces might be shaping the experience of faith, especially for like younger generations.
Yeah.
Are they replacing traditional institutions or simply offering another avenue for connection and exploration?
It's not an either scenario.
Okay.
For some, digital platforms offer a gateway to reconnect with their faith or explore new ones,
Mm-hmm.
while for others, they provide a sense of community that transcends geographical boundaries.
Right.
It's a complex and multifaceted landscape that challenges us to reconsider our preconceived notions of what faith looks like in the modern world.
It's like faith is going through its own digital transformation, which makes me wonder, what will be the lasting impact of this shift? It's like we've gone from ancient philosophers debating the nature of faith to, boom, faith going viral. It makes you realize how adaptable this concept is, how deeply woven it is into the human experience. It's a testament to its enduring power, whether expressed through traditional religion, spiritual exploration, or even a deep commitment to humanistic values. Faith speaks to something fundamental within us.
So for someone listening to this, someone who may be wrestling with their own beliefs or simply trying to make sense of this complex thing we call faith, what's the key takeaway?
If there's one thing I hope listeners glean from our deep dive, it's this. Faith is more than a set of doctrines or rituals.
Right.
It's about finding meaning, purpose, and connection in a world that can often feel chaotic and uncertain.
It's about that ongoing search, like
Mhm.
trust in something larger than ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's a higher power, the pursuit of knowledge, or simply the inherent goodness of humanity.
Precisely. And the beautiful thing is, this search can take countless forms.
Right.
There's no single right answer. No one-size-fits-all approach. What matters most is that the journey resonates with you, that it nourishes your spirit and inspires you to live a more meaningful life.
So embrace curiosity, keep an open mind, and who knows what you might discover about yourself and the world around you.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
This deep dive has been a real eye-opener. I feel like I've gained a whole new understanding of faith, and I hope our listener feels the same. Until next time, keep asking those big questions.